Guys, all I'm gonna do today, I'm leaving a little stopper on there. I'm gonna try it. Maybe it can help you guys see what I'm doing. If not, I'll take it off. But all I'm gonna do is take this earthworm, and this is a little number 6 mustad hook, and I'm gonna hook it in just like that. Now you could use half this worm, but I really want them big ones. I'd love to catch some of them 3-pound shellcracker. I see where somebody has been in here. Looks like they may have pulled the boat up, but I promise you they didn't catch them all. The mouth, I have fished that off and on since I was in my early 20s, going back up this slough here, and never have I really caught anything of any significance. JB, oh, you behind, right straight behind me? Okay, so you say he never wanders off, and he didn't. He was just behind me. Where the current kind of slows, where you got some eddies where it's deep, you're going to do better than you will if you go back up in there and fish around all those cypress knees. You may pick up a few, but you're going to do way better fishing these mouths, because they can get out of that current and they've got an endless supply of food getting washed down. But all we're going to do is just chunk it out there, and we're going to let it go all the way to the bottom. I don't really suspend fish for bluegill and shellcracker this time of the year, and I hope the camera can pick that cork up out there. But all I'm going to do is just work that worm right across that bottom, and what that does is it triggers their lineal line. Of course, you can see how the current is still moving it back. Now, if the river was up at the normal level, well, you see that mud out of the water over there? That's where they would be on bed at. They'll bed in anywhere from a foot of water to about 10 to 12 foot of water. They just really won't bed on a slope. They like it real flat. There he is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on. Oh boy, JB, we are on. Let's go. Come on. Oh yeah, look at here, guys. Beautiful bluegill right off the bat. And I mean, he hit that thing. If you guys will try this technique, and some of you put comments, well, if I hook my worm like that, I'd lose my whole worm. Well, he got my whole worm, but look what I got. Just look at the beautiful colors on that. He's bigger, a little bigger than my hand. Whoop. Now, I just had a bath. Put him in there for a few minutes until I can get to... I don't put them on a stringer anymore, guys. We shot y'all a video. I almost didn't get out of here because it got too hot. I couldn't breathe, and it was kind of a scary trip. Now that one was spraying, so I'm gonna do something a little different on this cast. But I forgot what I was gonna tell y'all. I done got excited. Now, right in there, I'm a little bit left to where he took it. But they may be on bed right there, because that's about 4 foot. This out here is about 12 foot. And on this ultralight rod, I want y'all to know that thing felt like he weighed 3 pounds, but he probably only about maybe half a pound, quarter pound, but 3/4 is what I'm trying to say. I'll get my words right in a minute. Hey, I'll get some water on you in a minute. You going in the grease. You can quit, because you done. How about that, JB? Did you see that? You see that bluegill? He said, Michael, I got my brain on squirrels. He got it. Look there. You trying to get me over there and get me hung. I know that's what you were going to do. Oh, another beautiful bluegill. They have such beautiful colors this time of the year. Hup. No, sir. No, sir. You might better stay closer. I know you was worried about me falling in. He was wanting to shoot a little skit for you guys, and I had to delete the last video off his Sims card. And by the time I got that done, he was like, forget it, let's just go. Y'all may not believe me, but he actually does know that we're shooting a video. And before I go any further, I'm not going to use his name because some people don't like that, but several of you have been praying for me, and I read JB the prayer and the whole message. Thank you so much. I don't want to put somebody's name out there without their permission, because once you're out there in the public's view, everybody finds a reason to be offended, and they like to give people trouble, and I don't want to cause this individual any trouble, because I sure appreciate his prayers. That was a very kind and generous thing for him to take time to, type out a prayer like that. And that encourages me to keep going, to push through. It's more difficult this time of the year because of all the allergens because they're harvesting, there's just hundreds of miles of farms, and well, not to the south of me, but to the other three directions. And when you got lung problems and they kick up all that dust, oh my goodness, that causes some terrible breathing problems. Now he's got it in his mouth, and I'm thinking that might be a shellcracker, because sometimes a shellcracker will have it swallowed and all they'll do is just bump it just a few times. But and I do want to get some of them big shellcracker today, but I tell you what, a good mess of bluegill, very few times I'd turn that down. And we're going to go after some more crappie. Oh, that's a given. Sometimes them big shellcracker will be hanging right off this old cypress tree right here. There's a few big cypress trees left on this river, but not many. They pretty much cut them out. They don't let them do it anymore, and I'm very, very happy they don't. I would have loved to have seen what this river looked like 100 years ago. There's a Native American, yeah, when he thumped it, he got that worm. A Native American settlement somewhere on this river, but it's like ultra classified. They won't tell anybody where it was at. And I understand that, because you got people that'll go up just to mess it up. I see where that guy was sitting right there with his bucket. He was getting a little too close. I'm gonna bring it in from that side once it gets to the bottom, because it's pretty deep right in there. I could put another weight on, but I don't like to use more weight than I absolutely have to. And the reason for that, no matter what you're fishing for, is you don't want the fish to feel much resistance. Now, if you're out in the Gulf of Mexico or the ocean someplace, and you know you're catching 20-pound red snapper, they're probably not going to notice a few ounces of weight. But a bluegill or a shellcracker, they feel, especially like a crappie, they feel any resistance, they'll spit whatever they just put in their mouth out. But that's what I'm doing when I'm not using a cork. That's what I was going to tell you guys. I fish the bottom and I'm moving it all the time. Well, are you going to take it? Nope. That fella's going to get mad at me, but he's been asked not to put his trout lines right here in the mouth of this thing, and that's what I almost just got hung on. They can put them back in there and things like that, and the reason for it is when somebody's coming out with their boat, or they're coming in with their boat, they're running kind of quick, you know, especially when they go out, they take off and the bow of the boat comes up like this and it sets the motor down deep, and then all of a sudden that thing's wrapped all up around that prop and burnt their foot, and then they got to call for somebody to come get them, and it's a long way for somebody to run right here to get them. Guys, I got a new hook on and hopefully the camera's picking it up there. These are just I'm not sponsored by this company, but it's just a little bronze Aberdeen size 6. They're less than $2, because you're going to get hung sometimes, and that's just fishing. You know, every once in a great while I'll go fishing and catch a nice mess and I won't get hung at all. I think I might have lost my weight. Didn't even pay any attention to that. Now, bucket, me and you fixing to part company. I sat on that bucket for about 5 hours shooting that crappie fishing video. And it left me sore. Got some fanning action going on right in there. I know the camera's not picking that up. I wished I had a camera that would pick all that up. You know, some of these big guys that make a lot of YouTube videos, you know, they got millions of subscribers, they'll talk to me about everything under the sun, but the minute I ask them a technical question, it might be weeks before they'll even answer a hello. Oh, I see what the problem is. But if you just keep that moving, and it's okay to stop it, you know, you might stop it up to 60 seconds sometimes. If I had brought lures the other day and had felt like making a lot of cast, I probably would have really tore the crappie up. I really need a new computer, because I can't put all the video on the computer, so there's a lot of fish that y'all didn't get to see. So that's why I'm kind of shooting this one straight through instead of having a bunch of different segments. That computer, it just doesn't have enough horsepower. There he is. Yes. Come here. Ooh, a pretty bluegill. Pretty bluegill. Come here. You going in the bucket. You are right on the border of what I would keep. But I want to take my mom some fish, so And this is the one that caught that nice shellcracker on a while ago. The worm, he didn't get the worm, it just fell off. And the reason I'm hooking it like that is it just looks like a natural worm, but the current's pushing around. Let's see if we can get back out there now. I got that off good. I got some new line on order. I like this high vis line because usually I'm not using the cork fishing on the bottom. And I like to watch that line. I'm putting the cork on because a few of my female subscribers are like, I can't fish like that. I've got to be able to see the cork. Well, I understand. So I'm trying to show you how you can fish the bottom with a cork. He thumped it. Yeah, he's gonna run with it. Feels like a good one. Yeah, come here, big guy, come here. You are a shellcracker and you're not that big. You just that strong. You're making some wakes out there. But you get to go home. If they're not big enough to, you know, really make the grease pop, then there's no point in keeping them. Because they'll grow, and next time you go there'll be some more there, or there'll be some for somebody else. I was told today about some guys that went and caught a cooler full of redfish. I said, well, how many of them went? She said, I think it was just 2 of them. You're allowed 1 between 18 and 27 inches. But people don't want to go by the rules. Greed. They say, you know, money's the root of all evil. It's not, it's the greed. Oh, he's on there. Oh, that's a good one. He like stood me up. GB. So good. Goodness, 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 goodness. That's a good 1/2 pounder, and he swallowed it. Well, down 2 hooks. I need some new line, but there's nowhere around that I can find any of this high vis line. Let me get my knife here. I know y'all know how to tie on a hook, so I'm gonna turn the camera off for a second, save a little bit of that battery. Hey, please don't put your face down in a snake. Yeah, I see the trout line right there and all the 80-pound test line that people think they gotta have to catch catfish on. If y'all met some of the people that I run into on this river, when a fellow walks up to you and asks you, have you met his double first cousin? And his first cousin's also his mama, and they introduce themselves that way, just agree with them on anything, because you're not gonna get nowhere with them. And they're usually the ones that are leaving all this junk out here. They know better, but they don't know any better, if you understand what I'm saying. And I'm not really trying to judge anybody. I'm just kind of trying to tell you how it is. They're not intellectually capable of understanding. There he goes. He's got it swallowed. Oh, I missed him. I missed him. Now you do that to a crappie, you'll pull his face off. Now right over in there, if they're that's probably where they're bedding, because it's a little bit shallower, and I've been seeing a lot of activity over there. And like I say, it's okay to stop it. You can stop it for, you know, a couple of minutes if you need to take a break, get something to drink or whatever. But you just keep that thing hopping across the bottom like that, bouncing it. And yep, see, he got it and he's gone. It makes them strike. That's a good one. Hey, you gonna get him? You make sure he don't get away, don't you? JB's like, I like to eat them too, Michael. I know you do. This was your daddy's favorite fish to eat. In fact, for years, it was the only fish he would eat till he saw your Uncle Buddy eating some catfish. Look at there, guys. He's fat. He's not that broad, but he is fat, fat, fat. Crappie, I mean not crappie, shellcracker and bluegill will bed up beside one another. And if you're wondering why I keep throwing it in different spots, I'm hunting that 3-pound shellcracker or that 2-pound bluegill, and I know they're here. I just got to get it in front of them, and I have a gut feeling that they're right in there, but I don't want to get in that trout line and get hung. I think he's got it and he's running with it. Yep. Look at there. Look at there. This is gonna be this might be one of them real big ones. Look at that guy go. Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, he's over a pound. Come on now. Yep. Give me a minute. Let me get the pliers and get this hook out of this fish, guys. Oh. I love them fresh peanuts, but I'll sure be glad when they done harvesting them. I'm almost afraid to pray for rain, because they'll let so much water out of that dam that this river will flood. Where we're sitting right now, we'd be underwater, and I've seen it come up 12 feet overnight. I've seen it. You can see with the water line on that high bank over there. Oh, fish, don't jump up and hit me there. I may have scared him a minute because I went down there and got a bunch of water and put in this bucket. I don't use a stringer anymore because the river was up last spring, and JB and I tried to shoot a video in here, and I don't know, I had 10 or 12 caught. I just bumped something down there. Hope I didn't just get hung. And had them on a stringer, and an alligator came through and I didn't notice him. Luckily JB was sitting behind me, and he grabbed a hold of that stringer of fish and started off with it like you know, he was a train robber or something. I've had cottonmouth go to pull the stringer up, and a cottonmouth will have one swallowed, and I've gotten bit by a cottonmouth doing that. So I just generally don't put them back on the stringer. I bet he got my bait when I first threw it out there. Nope. I just didn't get in front of one of them. All right, let's see if there's any big ones over there. I'll put another weight on if we need to. Well, we got just a little bit of current over there. But if those that size are on bed, and I've got what I need to feed everybody just in the little time we've been talking together. And I'll show y'all here in a little bit. I want to try for some of them big ones now. I usually don't take more than what I need. There's no doubt I could sit right here before dark and I'd have 50. But I don't really want to clean 50. He's there he is. Ain't no giant. How deep that water is. You make good catfish bait. But apparently folks don't like to catch big catfish. And I hear you, because most of you, when you go catfishing, you want to catch fish you can eat, not fish that so big you can't eat them and you can't hang them on the wall. So, of course, what they charge for taxidermy now is insane. I used to have a couple of bluegill hanging on the wall. I caught out of Bear Lake in Munson, Florida when I was a teenager. They were a little over 2 pounds a piece. And at that time, for me, that was a humongous bluegill. But that lake's not what it used to be. We looked at it here about a week ago. Though JB's daddy sure liked going there. They used to stock the lakes and they would fertilize them with lime and stuff in the spring, and it just grew big fish. And the other reason I wanted to come today, I've had so many people tell me, well, I can't go fishing when it's windy. I mean, obviously, you don't want to go fishing if it's a hurricane. But I'm pretty sure he got that. I felt the thump. It's not as easy to feel that thump with a cork. That was just a little one. That's what's going on. You have a bunch of juveniles that get around when they start bedding because they want to eat the eggs. Fish eat each other, and so do snakes. And if y'all heard me talking about that snake that was so silvery, right over yonder is where he was going in at. Yep, there he is. Ain't nothing to him, JB. They're not. I might have to put a weight on, guys, because that's a shellcracker. And I mean, I reckon he's right on the line of keeping. And if I can get this hook out without hurting him, I'm gonna say yes in the top of your mouth. So we're gonna let you go home. Give me a second, and well, actually, I think I'm just gonna stay doing what we're doing. Put the worm back on. I'd make 6 fish on the same worm, so you can hook them like that. And I mean, yeah, sometimes you're gonna go through a little more bait than others. Where's the big one at? If y'all can see that current coming back through here, it'll loop around and just make a big old turn right there. And when it slows down, that's why you keep seeing me look over that way. I'm looking for it to not be doing that, because when that slows down, that's when there's holes up underneath that bank, and then big shellcracker getting them holes. And when that current slows, that's when they dart out and grab bait. I used to come up here when I was a boy, and it ain't letting us think if there's any garbage around it. That one weight's just not gonna be enough, I don't think. And you'd catch one or two real nice ones, and then you couldn't catch any more. It wasn't because they weren't here. It was that I didn't know how back then. The only problem with throwing over that way is there's a lot of things to get hung on. Plus that fella's trout line. What we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this right up here. I'm gonna let it sink. I'm gonna let that current just kind of move it, because I know there's some big shellcracker down there. Yeah, that close to the bank. That's what I was saying. You can see the outline of that fella's bucket. He was sitting too close. If he knew what I knew about those alligators, he wouldn't do that. Of course, I hadn't seen those gators, those big ones, since he's been coming down here to fish, so he may have shot them. Those guys, they don't know what the law is. They just do stuff, and if they get in trouble, it wasn't their fault, because, well, I tell you, that's what the good Lord put it there for. There was a guy walking in front of that bait store. Oh, he hit it right when I went to move it. I don't know what drug he was on, but he was having an argument with somebody, and there wasn't nobody else there. Yeah. Time to add a weight, guys. I'll be back in a sec. Let's be a little reckless. We'll go out a little further. I think that whole area right in there, because I can see some holes. Look at there. I'm working it across that bottom, talking to you guys. That's right, it came off. I got to put another weight on now. I can see where that fella pulled his shoes off and walked out there for some reason. He's probably got a brick out there, and he walked out there to get his to pull his trout line up to. He catch just as many fish on a rod and reel, but I guess he just don't want to do it that way. Look at that right there. Something bedding down in there, and there's a bass going in there after him. Well, we were reckless, but let's try to stay away from that spot. That weight there not quite heavy enough. JB, I ain't heard any squirrels barking. I said that, and now one starts barking. that sit right there for a minute. I think one might have found it. And he did, and he got it. All right, tell you what, we're gonna try to catch 3 more here real quick, and we're gonna cut out of here. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. You don't need a boat to catch them. Sometimes you have to walk through a little bit to get to a spot to fish, and I'm sure you guys have experienced that too. And but if they put a road in where you could just drive all the way to the river, and every spot would be full of garbage, overfished. Look at that. Now that's a good one. I hope you guys are still watching, because that's a good fish right there. And he's trying to get me over into that. JB, help. This rod doesn't have enough backbone to it to really turn him. Oh, that's a 2-pounder, bees. Easy 2-pounder. Maybe guys, this one may be 3. And he swallowed it. I felt you when you thumped it, dude. Well, you don't need that hook. You going into grease. Let me show everybody. You may be gonna go into grease, but you world famous. Look at here. Man, I got huge hands, guys, and I want y'all to just see how big he is against my hand. I want to look at this. Look at that fat belly on him. And we caught the majority of those in the first 20 minutes of this video. YouTube likes it when you make long videos because they can put lots of commercials in. Or at least that's what I'm told. He just about straightened that hook out. I got a couple more worms here, guys. Let's try for some more of them. That gets me excited right there. Big shellcracker, just, oh, I love them. Thank you for coming to help, bees. I slowed my roll a little bit, and well, it's cooling down, so I slowed how fast I was moving it, and just got that one close enough to one that his lateral line picked up that weight bouncing on that bottom, and then he probably could smell that worm. Earthworms have got a strong scent to them. But if you guys are fishing with red worms, you can catch them on red worms too. And especially if you feed those red worms some cornmeal. Got one thumping it. No, he wasn't on there. Must not have been a big enough one to get that worm in his mouth. See if we can set it right over there where I think there's a bed. Well, I say I think. When we got down here, I could, had more daylight and I could see out there better. And I could see the holes that they had dug to lay their eggs. And just about every one of them has sprayed me, so the majority of them have been males. Well, that tells me they may have already laid. They may have gone on bed a couple days back. You know, if you start, say, 3 days before full moon and they're not on bed yet. Oh, Michael. I can't chew gum and talk at the same time. Then go back a couple of days later. If you're able, you can check your spot that you want to fish every day. But somewhere 3 days before full moon to 3 days after full moon, they're gonna go on bed. Now, if you're up north and it's, you know, 40-degree days and 20-degree nights, you probably aren't gonna have any of them bedding until the spring. But unless we have the last, you know, week of October real cold and it stays that way, these guys will go on bed in November. How do I know? Because my buddy Gerald and I caught them out of my boat here last November. All them fish just took off from right there. They will crawl up on that bottom until they get close enough that they think they can come out and get what they're wanting. And if they can go up on that sandbar over there and take a hog off of it, which is probably why I hadn't seen any hogs coming out there. They probably got wise to the fact that the gators were hunting them right there. I hear your owl friend, JB. That must have been a little, yeah, that was a little one. Well, guys, let me see here. Well, there's still a piece there, guys. A good piece. I know it's late, the video's long. I don't know how to splice it and put the sections of the video back together. I'm not sure that computer'd let me do that anyway. I'd take more processing power than this guy. I'm not gonna name the store I went to, but most of you go there on a regular basis. I went in and I said, I've got a YouTube channel. My other computer died and I can't afford to put out $1,000 right now for a computer. What have you got that I can edit videos on? Oh, this is what I use here and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, how much is it? He said, oh, I can get you $25 off on that one. Well, that's last year's model. Yeah. You need at least 8 gigabytes to a gigabyte of free RAM, and this one doesn't have it. That's why my videos never go up at the same time, which is what they say helps you be more successful with that algorithm YouTube uses. It's because I might edit that video and have it done by 7 a.m. Oh, that was a good thump right there. Yeah, he's on. We got him. This will be a decent one to end it on, guys. Yeah, he's taking some drag. JB, strong fish. Come here, help. Don't you get me over there. That's some deep water too, and they can cut up out there in it. Hey, come here, strong fish. Yeah, yeah. So this is my fish, my fish. I want y'all to look at this guy. Looks. I want y'all to just see the colors on him. This one here is not. I guess he might. You know, he's about maybe 3/4 of a pound. But I just want y'all to look at them colors. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. Well, guys, it has been a blessed evening out here with you. I am so grateful that you're watching the channel. I hope you've enjoyed this. And you know, you watch so many guys that you know, and I'm gonna start doing some fishing out of a boat. And the reason for it is, you know, hunting season's coming in and I don't want to get shot. But I've got, and some of them in there just that wide. But it has been a blessing. I want to show y'all something pretty. Y'all get to see some of the spots, but you don't really get to see the river. I can't walk to it with my lungs like it is, but there's a sandbar around that corner. Oh, it's 1,000 yards down past that corner. And there's some good catfishing right there. And you notice that except for that helicopter that went over, we're not hearing nothing man-made. The only thing we're hearing is what the good Lord's put out here. Guys, whatever your problems are, whether you like to go fishing, hunting, or you just want to get out and go for a walk, the weather's cooling down, it's not as humid, it won't be as dangerous for you because you won't have to worry about overheating. Take you a bottle of water, put it in your pocket, stay hydrated, don't do more than what you know you can. If you can walk 50 yards and sit down at the base of a tree and watch some squirrels and birds and watch the sun set, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health will be better off for it. Guys, thank you for coming and going fishing with me. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you so much for these fish and this beautiful river. Guys, I got to pick up this trash that fellow left and get out of here. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button. That helps me and JB out a lot. And oh, by this time next week we'll have all that Patreon stuff done, and that'll make it possible for me and JB to take you guys to a lot more places. And thank you very much for your prayers and for watching the channel. May you have a blessed week and a wonderful weekend. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.